Let's get into the Wednesday practice as per tradition here on the journal every single Wednesday. Networking, networking. Don't run away yet, okay? Just hang 10. This one is definitely going to benefit you. Networking, as we know, it can actually open doors to jobs, to clients, partnerships, and opportunities. But for many people, the hardest part is simply just knowing what to say. I mean, what do you say at these networking sessions? So today we're not just going to be talking about networking, we're going to practice it. Thando Dhaza is a communications and brand strategist, and we're going to put her in the role of a coach. I don't know if she's been prepared for that, but that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take some of the awkward, intimidating networking situations many of us encounter and work through them together. Okay, that is the purpose of the practice. By the end of the conversation, I'm hoping that you and I will be able to have a few practical tools that we can actually use, in these particular, gatherings and spaces, as it were, so that we can walk into a room full of strangers and know exactly what to do and say. Thando is joining me on the line, and of course, as we have already established, she is a communications and brand strategist. A pleasure to have you on the program. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor, having to chat at least, with technology allowing us to chat, even though it's so cold in South Africa right now, we can still talk online.
It is freezing, isn't it? Just freezing. And here
Yeah.
we are trying to network through the cold.
I am like, in my head, I'm like, I definitely want to be in studio because then, the conversations are a lot better. But I
I
was
hear
like,
you.
oh my gosh. But we're here and I'm super excited. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to do our best because, listen, maybe we can learn a new skill of how to network online. But okay, Thando,
Mhm.
here I am. I've just walked into a room where I don't know anybody. And there's a group of people already talking and they know each other and they, on first name basis, etc.
Mhm. Mhm.
How should I be, entering the room and engaging in the first 5 minutes?
First and foremost, I think what we've always need to remember as human beings is that we are actually, as human beings, interested in other people. So once we understand that part, we just need to remember and forget about a lot of other things. Networking now has become so transactional, where the most important thing is that I just need to get to know you. Let's get to know each other from a just an ordinary human being interest of wanting to get to know you. So
Mm,
your
mm.
introduction is important. I know a lot of people, especially they say, Joburg, everybody asks you, what do you do? And people are tired.
Yep.
I know. But it is also how are you? Just that opening line of being, let's cut being weird. How are you? Sometimes people think that that question means nothing because we do not know each other. But sometimes to the other person, depending on what you're going through in life, sometimes that's the most important conversation you need to hear today.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So when we stop thinking about things too much, we forget a lot of things that, listen, it actually does not matter. Let me have the conversation with the person. So, yes, your introduction is the most important thing because you never know sometimes also who you're talking to. So, a normal greeting of good morning, my name is Thando Dhaza. How are you and what is your name? That's a good entry.
That's
And
it.
it
That's it. Yeah.
matters. And it matters
Hmm.
because sometimes your name may say a lot. Sometimes I hear people's names and I'm like, oh, you're from Ghana. That opens up a conversation. Already a person
Mm.
feels that they matter. Already that person feels like I know something about them. Now they suddenly willing to engage. So once we start to interact with people, it becomes a lot better because we are getting to know the person and now we forgot about who you are. So even if I ask you after 10 minutes, what do you do? It doesn't matter because it's part of me getting to know you. Your introduction matters the most when you're trying to build a relationship with anybody. And you then are able to share who you are, right? Network is not about collecting contacts. Let's forget that. It's really about being able to create a trust and knowing how to communicate your value when the opportunity presents itself. So when I'm tapping in to ask you about your name and realizing that, oh, this originates from Ghana and you may be South African, you have a story to tell. Then I'm getting to know you. I'm already networking with you. People, because at the end of the day, if you're wanting to network and build a relationship with people, sometimes, yes, that is either for mentorship, that is either for business, that is what, whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Because as human beings, it is a give and take, whatever we do. Sometimes that genuinity is just about us being able to have somebody to talk to, but that's still you getting and taking something from somebody.
That is a
You
wonderful
know,
perspective. That is a wonderful perspective. Get into the room and be interested in people. Be as interested as you are interesting. That's a good place to start instead of collecting business cards that you are probably not going to use in the future. I think that is a wonderful place to start when it comes to networking. 19 minutes into 10 a.m., we continue the practice with Thando Dhaza after this.
African Diaries with Teach Mataz. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays.
The one and only Tongai Arnold Chirisa. My man.
Drum rolls, please.
You know, when you started out on Studio 266 way back in the day, did you know you become the Hollywood superstar that you are today?
You know what was funny? Like I used to do a thing with my brothers that back in the day when you had to go to like a DVD store to loan out the DVD so you can watch it and then return it. You know, before the movie started, there was like 10 minutes of commercials or like trailers, and we still had that dude that did the commercial voice. You know.
Yeah.
So every time, you know, he would say the name Will Smith, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I would literally put my name in there as well. I had no idea why I used to do that, but it was just like, one day is one day. That's what I knew. But this is before like I truly had an idea of that I really wanted to be an actor.
Africa's voices, Africa's journeys, all on African Diaries.
Scholar transport drivers, every winter morning, our children depend on you to get them to school safely. But overloaded vehicles and rushing against time puts lives at risk. Remember, our children are not cargo. Overloading reduces your ability to stop on wet or icy roads. Drive responsibly, arrive safely, protect every child, every trip. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
The African perspective is stronger because of your point of view. Happy Women's Month. Channel Africa. The practice on the Journal.
22 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African time, not just to talk about networking right now, but to actually practice it. Thando Dhaza is our expert and our coach for this particular session. She's a communications and brand strategist. Thando, I need us to tap into the psyche for a little bit here. How much of what we say about ourselves impacts our networking skills? So for example, if I've already decided as I'm putting on my heels and my makeup and getting into my car that I am soft-spoken, you know, I'm not really important, I'm just the admin girl at work, I just, you know, I'm just. How does that impact how I'm going to walk into a room and network?
You know, it is so valuable what you basically said, because, you know, the practicing of being able to understand who you are and what you do is very important, right? Because people, like I said earlier, people want to operate and work and engage with people. So you do always need to think, who am I? What problem do I solve? What makes my work different or makes me different? And what conversation do I want to have next with other people, right? Then you can ask, you know, the question to saying, and what are you currently working on, right? as yourself, because then those are things that open up doors for you to be able to speak about what you are doing, but then to also try hook it to what they are doing. Because when you have a conversation, as much as it is not always about getting a job, it's first getting to know the person, first being genuine, then everything else happens. Because what a lot of people think is that people, as much as you have to be honest and open, and having the right conversations with people, you cannot be asking people for things in your first 2 or 3 engagements. It's about building. It's about getting to know the people and knowing what you can give them. So when you are networking in a setting where there are individuals, make sure that if you know definitely you're going to be around people or stepping out of your house, make sure that you get out of your house. And before you get out of your house, you look good. You look good, you smell good, and you feel good. It matters how you engage with people.
Yeah.
Your energy is a powerful thing. If you are going to walk out and you're already feeling negative, your negativity will affect a room.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or you don't. It is an important thing. So when you walk out of your house, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, you're going to have a great day and you look good and you smell good, honey. Whether you are male, whether you are female, whether you're a student, whether you're putting on a deodorant, a cologne, a perfume, or it's just a roll-on that smells good. Because a lot of people end up saying, okay, but what if I don't have a roll-on? What if I don't have a perfume? You don't. And it's all in the mind. If you feel good, people will gravitate towards you. Energy is a very powerful thing. And you want to be somebody that people magnet to, come to because of your energy. So once you're able to do that, you are able to walk up to anybody, even when the president is there, and you're able to sell yourself. And you're able to tell the president, President, how are you today? How many people ask the president how he is?
Yeah. And that you like his
How
tie.
Yes. And how many people
Yeah.
actually ask
Yeah.
your boss how your boss is? So perhaps it's not about how we've always been navigating. It's really about how we are forgetting about how people are. We just need to tap into people. So you should never make it transactional. And also, so you know, networking definitely opens doors, right? And people often create opportunities before positions or opportunities advertised, number one. So your network can introduce you to your clients, your partners, your mentors, your investors, your employers, and your collaborators, right? Because that is what essentially networking does. And then once you network, those people sometimes then become either your mentors or your sponsors, right? So you also need to be intentional. So you know what you want, who you want to meet and why you want to meet those people, right? Because these things are all part of networking. And you don't only network upwards, right? So you need to build those relationships with peers, people coming behind you too, because those people might be people that are going to have the biggest jobs tomorrow. So it's not just about getting to know the CEO of that company. What about Losisi or Tlinayo? What about the sissy at the receptionist? They matter because those people, if you think about when you're walking into an office or a building, you first meet the receptionist. She's your first point of reference. If you have a bad relationship with this receptionist, how are you planning on getting to the CEO if you do not have a relationship with the CEO? So building relationships not only upwards but literally backwards, sideways is very important.
Just being
And
human. Just
give
being human. Yeah.
100%, right? And give before you ask. Share information, make introductions, recommend people, and create value. You will suddenly see how big your network becomes when you give before you ask for anything. People will
Right.
be willing to include you in rooms that matter. So, for example, for me, instead of saying I do PR marketing and communications, I need to say I try help organizations strengthen their reputation and tell stories that position their brands for growth across Africa.
That's
I'm
it
no
right there.
longer,
Yeah.
yes, I'm no longer saying this is what I do, because the next thing is I'm looking for business. But when I position my business and myself differently to tell you how I make a difference, it's a different strategy. So it's about essentially the formula of which I use is something of who you are, telling people about who you are, what you do,
Right.
and who you help, and the value that you create.
Okay.
So it's about who you are, what you do, who you do help, and the value you create, because they can automatically see the value for themselves.
I agree
That is
with
a
everything
formula.
that you said. Yeah, that is exactly it. That's the formula that I hope that you are writing down as Thando is speaking. Otherwise, go back to this recording and listen to that again. That is your formula, and it's so simple to implement. But Thando, we've run out of time, but I've got to squeeze this one in because I think it's important. You know, when I want something from you, it's so difficult because if I know Thando Dhaza is going to be in the room, she's a communication and brand strategist, and I know that she can elevate my career. You know, I mean, how do I express that? I mean, in a minute, how do I express that in a way that doesn't immediately make me feel like I just want to siphon you for your skills and what you can do for me?
So the best practice is, everybody loves to feel important. So if you're walking up to somebody and you don't know them and you really want to meet them, it's more about saying, hi, my name is Thando Dhaza. I heard you speaking about reputational management, and I found your point about reputation quite important and quite interesting or thought-provoking, particularly interesting. And I'd love to hear more about what you're working on. That is a great way to network, because now your approach is very different. So your approach is something that really, really, really makes it interesting. You need to also practice ending conversations without also being awkward, guys, because sometimes, you walk out of this like, why did this person actually walk up to me? So it's also sometimes, if you really didn't find something quite interesting, you could also just say to a person, hi, my name is so-and-so. I really enjoyed this conversation and I'd love to stay connected. May I connect with you on LinkedIn? Let me tell you, girl, when you connect with them on LinkedIn, you're going to take a picture before you leave that person. You're going to follow them and connect with them in LinkedIn, and you go and tag them. And they're going to see you and remember you. And you're going to write a really powerful LinkedIn caption or really powerful Instagram caption, and they're not going to forget you, because you better make sure that you are building a case on your career, on your reputation, and the things that you were doing that is powerful. Because then when your things are powerful, nobody can avoid you. Right? Nobody can avoid you. So the key lesson here is, don't walk into a room asking, what can I get? Walk in asking, what relationships can I build? What value can I offer? And what conversations can I start? And make sure before you step out of your house, you look good, you smell good, and you feel good. Very powerful and very important, because at the end of the day, sometimes people are very, it's easy to look at something that looks good, right? So, and it's easy to look at something that looks nice. So let your coat be the start conversation, the conversation starter, where someone's going to say, you know what, I love your coat. Then you jump in and you start a great conversation of getting to know the person first. That is the true power of networking, because when you are in people's emotions and you mean it and you're genuine, let me tell you, go very far, and so much more can happen. And those people can become your friends, they become your mentors, those people can become your sponsors. At the end of the day, that is exactly what this world is about. It's a give and take, but make sure that you are giving before you are asking.
Listen, this is one of the best practices that we've had, because it helps you to understand networking beyond a single moment. Thando, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for being so generous in sharing this information.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thando Dhaza is a communications and brand strategist. We have pinched some of Figilele Ngwadi's time. I hope you'll forgive us. It's time for sports.